Hello, I'm back. Might look a little different than the usual video. That's because we're playing a different game. Just to give a little bit of background, I think I got into the whole genre of roguelikes because of Slay the Spire 1. One of my favorite games of all time, I think. I honestly think like Slay the Spire 1 might just be like one of the best games ever made. Definitely a landmark in video game history of like pioneering a lot of what's now like standard practice for this genre of roguelike deck builders. Starvaders, also one of my favorites, definitely took a lot of inspiration from this, and now the sequel is out. I've been playing a lot of Slay the Spire 2, and now after a pretty long stretch of not posting videos, I think my life is finally at a place where I can make some space, sometime every single day to record a video. So I'm going to try to do that. I have no idea what kind of stuff I'm going to upload yet. For now, I'm just planning to do like a Slay the Spire run here and there. There's a new game, different game I've been playing called Titanium Court. I've also been really enjoying that. Yeah, maybe we run it back to Starvaders here and there. I still do enjoy playing that. In any case, let's get into it today. Yeah, I've been going through the ascensions on all the characters. I've gone through these already. I'm just finishing up the regions, trying to get to Ascension 10 and finish that, after which point we'll just rotate Ascensions through all the different characters. So yeah, today we're going to play the Regent on Ascension 9. He's one of the new characters added to Slay the Spire 2. He's a whole lot of fun. Unlike most of the other characters who like mostly just is like, hey, my deck needs to attack and block and do that in various ways, his decks tend to have a lot more moving parts because of the fact that he has this separate resource besides mana called stars that he needs to spend to play some of his cards. Building his decks can be a little more challenging, but once you do get to the late game, he can scale up incredibly hard and do some really flashy things, which I think makes him really fun. In any case, let's get right into it. See how we do today. Alright, so Neo, what do you have? I know that it's... Is it just correct to always take transforms? I don't know. Some part of me's been appreciating having a little bit more max health just to like recover, and I'm not a giant hater of these two other options. Neo's Talisman upgrades a strike and a defend, so one of them becomes a deal 9, one of them becomes a block 8, which actually is like really impactful in a lot of the earlier fights. It can often mean just like ending some fights one turn early, or sometimes like full blocking when you otherwise can't. Random Relic, obviously tempting. Leafy Poultice, I think if you were just strictly trying to win, probably the correct pick here. It simultaneously like removes 2 bad cards from your deck and also gives you some really good ones. There's a reason they tack the lose 12 max HP onto it, but I don't know. I think I'll just take one of these two and chill. Let's roll the dice. Let's see what relic it gives me. Red Mask, not bad at all. Gives a weak to all enemies at the start of the fight. Makes your first turn a little more survivable. Particularly relevant at the start of Act 2, where a lot of enemies ask you to like block somewhere between like 15 to 19 on turn 1. This can really help with that. In any case, yeah, pretty happy to start with that. Let's now see how we're gonna traverse the map. Is this gonna be a shopless Act 1? It's looking like it. We could go down this direction, right? Yeah, because I really don't want to hit an early shop and a late shop. I think that's a bit of a waste. Although sometimes you do have to do it. If we go this way, it's going to be like 1 campfire, 1 shop, and then we do this. I kind of like going this path instead. Yeah, I like that a lot more. We basically get 2 extra campfires, and we can always spend our money at the start of next acts. We're going up against Lagavulin Matriarch. So, I think in this case we're going to want to throw out Act 1, put some, like, scaling powers into our deck. Yeah, if I remember correctly, Lagavulin Matriarch spends, like, the first 2 turns of the fight just sleeping, so you have a lot of time to set up, although she will scale up very aggressively once you do wake her up, or if those 2 turns pass. So the trick is usually to just put a bunch of scaling powers that you can play without waking her up in the first 2 turns, which is what we're going to try to do. Yeah, we're in the docks. So, did I mess up there? I messed up. I could have played an extra defend, I just didn't. It's a shame. I think I like venerating here to get a few more stars just so that we can play these big fella if it ever came up again. Yes. I have to play extra defend this time. Took 1 damage from an early fight in the docks, which I actually think is fine. Okay, interesting choice here. Crush Under, Gather Lights. I think it's between these 2. One thing about Regent's deck early is that he is quite low in block. He has a 10-card deck, only 4 of them defends, and the rest of them either attacks or does, well, practically nothing. Gather Light's just a very strong card. It gives you a block and gives you a star back that you can spend on whatever you want. Currently, the only thing we have to spend it on is this Falling Star. It doesn't cost mana, but it requires 2 stars, and it's quite strong. 8 damage, 1 weak, 1 vulnerable. Just like fine all the way up until the late game. Just unless like you have like a lot of other very strong like star payoffs, you're never sad to see this card. Crush Under, very strong card. We're in the docks, which has an elite fight that's like very AoE centric that also tries to like multi-hit you almost every single turn, so Crush Under has an excellent matchup into them. It's tough. I think maybe Crush Under is still the right pick here, because like Gather Light, it's a strong block card, don't get me wrong, but like it's pretty replaceable. There's a lot of other block cards that also does its job fine. Crush Under as an attack card is rather unique in that like very few other attack cards can mimic what it does. And I mean, if you squint hard enough, it sort of blocks a little bit as well. You know what, let's see what happens. Take an event here. Oh, you know what? Let's enchant Crush Under with Sharp so that it deals 2 extra damage. Now it deals 9 damage to all enemies instead of 7, which, pretty good value there. Goes a light and dark. Either we upgrade 2 random cards or we remove a card. I think I'm actually just going to remove a card here, because like, most of the cards in my deck don't benefit too much from like upgrading. Most other cards like Falling Star, if you think back to like Neutralize on Silence or Bash on Ironclad, you would expect when it upgrades for the status effects to last a little longer. Not the case for Falling Star. Its number just gets a little bigger, like most other cards, which makes it a bit of an underwhelming upgrade. Venerate's a fine upgrade, getting 3 stars instead of 2, and I think Crush Under also has a pretty respectable upgrade here, but again, like the majority of our hits aren't that great. Maybe there is something to just like having slightly bigger numbers. I don't know. I do think I'm just gonna remove a attack here. Alright, our deck's looking a little better. Crush Under in this particular fight might be a little worse than... Oh, actually. Never mind, we're just going to this guy turn. Alright, this fight gets a lot easier. It's just one of these fellas. What is yeah. Normally it's like these guys alternate gaining spikes and multi-hitting you, and it can get a little annoying depending on how things are going, but not today. Okay, Glitter Stream or Gather Light. Both of these are... Yeah, Begone's also a totally fine card. Would be a little more enthusiastic to take this if we were up against a different boss. I'm specifically thinking about, like, the fish, which puts statuses in your deck. This thing can transform cards in your deck, in your hand, into just, like, this totally fine card, Minion Strike. Basically, it removes that card from the deck and then, like, replaces itself, which is really, really strong. The two options here that I am looking at, though, because we've already taken an attack card, and like I said earlier, your starter region deck really wants more block. I'm thinking between Glitter Stream and Gather Light here. Both of these are, like, totally serviceable cards, if not, like, actively excellent at this stage of the game. Glitter Stream just has really good numbers. Something that's a little difficult to appreciate is also the fact that it bleeds some of the block over to next turn, which, yeah, like, ends up doing a lot for you. Gather Light, though, just gaining a little bit of stars. Maybe, I think I will pick Gather Light up, though, because having a slightly more star generation gives us more leeway to take other, like, strong star payoffs. I'm thinking about, like, you know, Astral Pulse. Maybe not strong, but it's like a totally fine card. Gamma Blast. I'm thinking about Stardust. I'm thinking about basically, like, Reflect as well. There's a lot of very good region cards that cost a lot of stars. I know we haven't seen any yet, but you gotta believe me, they're in there. I'm gonna pick up Gather Light and just prepare for that. Okay, normal fights, campfire, and an elite. I'm gonna hope that we don't lose too much health in this fight so that we can maybe upgrade Crush Under. Yeah, I think that's probably the right call. If we have to rest, we will rest. I think this one's not that hard. If we just don't draw awfully. Have 18. Okay, we just block up, and next turn 2 attack. I think we're in an excellent spot here. Oh, would you look at that Gamma Blast? Gamma Blast, basically Falling Star's big brother, costs 3 stars instead of 2, but it deals more damage, and it applies Weak and Vulnerable for an extra turn, which is, like, a very big deal. Glitter Stream, like we explained, perfectly serviceable. So is Glow. It's, like, 2 very good cards, but I am going to take Gamma Blast here because we're about to face an elite. Yeah, I think we roughly have the Gardeners covered if we just upgrade Crush Under. This thing's gonna really negate a lot of damage for us, and I think if we go up against Eel specifically, and probably also Coral, like, Gamma Blast is gonna be very strong in those matchups. I feel reasonably prepared for these elites, but here's the Gardeners. Stuff with Nightmares, really. You just gotta make it work for the most part. Yeah, Red Mask is really showing how absurdly strong it was. I think it blocked like a pretty incredible amount of damage there, which is something I can appreciate. Here we Gamma Blast that guy. Crush Under, that's gonna... Huh. The question now is, do we venerate? I do think I want to be able to play another Gamma Blast if it did come back, so I think I will venerate here and take 6 instead of taking 1. Might be a wrong move. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Venerate is in there. I'm going to this guy so that instead of taking 3, I'm going to take 0, because making him weak when he's doing a 1x3 attack actually just makes him attack for 0, which is quite nice. Still got a crush number coming, which is going to be huge here. Unfortunately, I can't play the Gamma Blast. That's whatever. All things considered, this is like beautiful. This is a pretty beautiful Gardener's fight. Yeah, I think we took like what, 4 damage? Usually you can expect it to go a lot in this fight. I'm definitely not gonna complain about that. Okay, some interesting options. I'm not too excited about any of these. Knockout Blow is like okay. I don't know. We could hit him with a Know Thy Place. Although now that I've picked up Unsettling Lamp, which doubles the first instance of debuffs that we apply to enemies, I'm also not super. Maybe that's actually pretty good because just like turning these 1 weak 1 vulnerable into 2 weak 2 vulnerable the first time we apply them is just like totally fine as well. I think I'll pick up a Know Thy Place. Those effects are just very strong in general. I think I will. I think right now the upgrade is between Gamma Blast and Venerate. What's coming up? Oh, we do get one more upgrade here, presumably. Unless we really get chunked either here or here, which, never say never. I think in the short term I'm going to upgrade Gamma Blast. Venerate, I think, is something I would like to have upgraded before the end of the acts, because it is very important to the functioning of our deck longer term. But like having 5 extra damage on Gamma Blast immediately is gonna, I think, help us solve these hallway fights a lot faster, which is what we need in short term. Junior Bracelet, not the greatest pickup ever, but I'll take it. Okay. Show. Gamma Blast this guy. Normally this guy can be a bit of a scary challenge. Not to be. We're just gonna kill him. Ooh, talk about a star payoff. Resonance. Very respectable card. Also something that kind of fits into the camp of that I was talking about with Lagavulin Matriarch of like, this is a card that you can play early in the fight to build up some strength for yourself, which means that you're gonna play like you're gonna basically like deal more damage for the rest of the fights, and also makes them permanently lose a strength. I would very much like to cast one of these in the first few turns of the fight, so I think I'll pick up Resonance and just be pretty happy about it. Ooh. So this guy lets us give some of our cards Retain, which I think is very strong. Basically, it lets you hold on to these cards until you're ready to play them, which, yeah, I think I'll do that. I'll give Gamma Blast and Resonance Retain so that they always stay in our hand. This way, even if we draw them when we don't have the stars, we'll always be able to hold on to them until we're ready to play them, which is very powerful. And now that we've picked up Resonance, I think I need to upgrade Venerate. Just like now that we've picked up this extra requirement of an extra chest, that's nice. Yeah, now that we've picked up this extra thing that requires stars, Venerate is starting to bear like a much greater portion of the load. If anything, I might actually want to get rid of Falling Stars if given the chance, because it's really not doing that much in this current state. Although we could always just pick up more star generation. That's always possible. Bag of Marbles, beautiful. Very nice to go with my Red Mask here. So, Red Mask applies weak at the start, while Bag of Marbles applies vulnerable to the start. It really lets us get a lot of work done like turn 1, which is huge. Oh, this guy. Never that happy to see this fella. I'm not gonna hold you, a bit of a nuisance in these parts. But you know, you take what you can get. Yeah, basically the thing about this guy is that he can never take more than 15 damage each turn, which means that like even if you build a deck that's very good at dual burst damage or like outputting a lot of damage at the same time, if you don't draw the cards in the right order, sometimes you just don't. Sometimes, like against this guy, you're just gonna take a boatload of damage, or at least like because you can't end the game. You can't end the fight early by just like outputting enough damage. He's like you have to take at least 5 turns to kill me. This is an example of that, I think, where like you just draw a hand that kind of doesn't have block, and you're just like, oh, it's a bit of a shame. Resonance here. We can also do that. So we take 6 instead of 8. How happy am I about that? Do I want a skill potion just to save 6 health? I don't hate it. Maybe it will be very helpful to the matriarch. I'm not sure. Let's just hold off for now. Very good. Take 2 here. It's whatever. Next turn we can for sure kill. I don't think we actually need the vulnerable potion, if you'll believe me, because we have so many ways of applying it that I think throwing it on 3 extra really isn't that necessary. Star potion, though, very nice. Gives us 1 free play of Gamma Blast or Resonance. Pretty strong, all things considered. Arsenal? It's a weird card to get offered now, when like we don't really have any ways to take advantage of it. I do think it won't be that expensive of a thing to have going into Lagavulin Matriarch, because we're just not gonna... We're gonna have the extra time to play it and get it out of our deck, and this is a very fun card. Every time you create a card, gain a strength. So if you have something like Collision Course, which adds a card to your hand, that's creating a card that gains you a strength. There are some cards, like I think you saw earlier with a card called there's a card called what was it? Begone, right? That transforms a card into a different card. That also counts as creating. It's good fun. Let's take Arsenal. Why not? And Mercury Hourglass here just deals 3 to all enemies at the start of our turn, which is very strong into any... Basically pretty good into any fight, but there are a selection of fights later in the game where like you just face off against a million enemies. This can output some very, very big numbers. You saw also that fight earlier against the Gardeners, the 4 little snake guys. This would have also been huge there, I think, but... Alright, here is, I think, a very important question. Can this deck beat Lagavulin Matriarch without resting here? I think the answer is yes. I'm actually just going to take the time here, instead of resting, to just upgrade Resonance so that we gain 2 strength instead of 1 every time we play it. I'll see if I come to regret doing that. I've got a feeling that I've got a feeling that maybe things will go okay for me. Yeah, 1 more turn here. Oh, a shame. We're not actually gonna... I think, yeah, we can't afford to wait anymore. Let's just play last and wait this spell up, because we were gonna... She was gonna wait the next turn anyway. Alright, and now we... Resonance. I do think we make the skill potion now just to... Well, we could Quasar, actually. That gives us a pretty good amount of scaling with Arsenal, because yeah, playing that counted as creating a skill, creating a card which gave us an extra strength, and now we're gonna Quasar. That's finesse. Yeah, that counts as creating another card for Arsenal. We're just scaling, which is something we're gonna need to do against her, I think. Let's just block up here. No reason to get too aggressive there. Blast, apply a little more status effects. It's not know that very well. Alright, so she has yet to debuff us once. Well, here it is. But yeah, she has yet to debuff us once, and we're already like halfway through killing her, which is pretty nice. Fight normally starts going a little bit south because she starts to repeatedly sap away your strength and dexterity, which can make it very difficult for you to close out the fight. But I think we do fine here because we are gaining like a ridiculous amount of strength from Arsenal and resonance as well. Don't count that guy out. He's been putting up numbers. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna do that. Alright, she's on 9. I should just get her. Good game. Oh, Void Form, you see. It's an excellent card. Basically, it makes it so that the first 2 cards we play every turn are free to play. But it does end your turn, which doesn't actually matter that much. When you play it, it just... you will always be able to sequence in a way where like you end your turn with this. And then starting from that point, you basically have like unlimited mana, which is pretty strong. You could pick up another Arsenal. I don't really think we want to. Like, 1 is already fine. We're looking for some ways to like take advantage of it. We were very lucky that game, I think, against the Matriarch to have picked up Quasar, which like works very well with it. We're gonna have to look for some ways to make it work, but in the short term, yeah, we're picking up Void Form. It's very, very strong. Okay, Darv. Darv. It's a bit of a silly fella. He makes it so he always run it back. He always like brings a bunch of Slay the Spire 1 relics with him. You can see it even in the background. That I think there are a bunch of callbacks to the stuff from Slay the Spire 1. These are the boss. These are the boss relics from Slay the Spire 1, which are like I don't know. I personally find them a little less exciting than a lot of the new options, but sometimes you just gotta work with what you've got. I'm actually pretty strongly considering Snecko Eye here. The big thing is that, yes, it does hit Gamma Blast and Resonance pretty hard, which is rough, especially because they have Retain, which will mean that, like... Sorry, Gamma Blast has Retain, which means that if we draw it and it rolls a higher mana value, it can be kind of rough, but getting to like discount Void Form, I think, is just really powerful. I'm gonna try it out actually, because like our out to Snecko Eye is that like once we have Void Form active, we can just play 2 free spells every single turn, and that should let us like clear all the excessively expensive cards from Snecko Eye. I'm actually gonna try this. I think this has some potential. Normally, like, taking Snecko Eye is a pretty massive risk, because there are a lot of situations where it just doesn't work, and then your run dies. But I think we can make it work today. Let's see what happens. 1 mana Void Form. Don't mind if I do. Gonna gather lights. Gonna Void Form in my turn. I think we're just good now. Oh, the rough part, I guess, is that I don't know which cards are going to cost extremely high amounts. Yeah. I end up taking a little bit. That's okay. Definitely want to do this here. Okay. It's not perfect, but I think it's working out fine here. The biggest problem is just that as we put more cards in our deck, we're gonna run into more and more issue, like consistently putting Void Form in play, because we won't always have it. We won't always immediately draw it like we did there. Do we want any of these? Not really. I'm starting to feel like maybe putting Arsenal in my deck was a mistake, but I don't know. Yeah, not really excited to take these now that I have Snecko Eye, because it randomizes card costs in my hand between 0 to 3, which means like most of them are they're going to cost on average 1.5, which is obviously a very, very good thing when you have with Void Form. Like, discounting this by 1.5 is huge. It makes it a lot easier to play a lot of the time. Problem is, most cards cost 1, and they just get a little bit worse when you have Snecko Eye, so I'm not really feeling like taking these in this case. I'm just going to pass on this, I think. Randomwood. Trade you something, give me something. You know what? Have my fire potion. Oddly smooth stone. Beautiful. Gives you a dexterity, which means that you can walk a little bit better. Very helpful. Walk here. Okay, that is a regular ass Void Form, but I think I am just gonna pick it up because yeah, that's gonna let us Gamma Blast for a bunch. So yeah, this guy's a bit of a special customer. He basically, yeah, he fights like a normal enemy until he starts doing this, in which case like he starts burrowing under and then walks for a huge number, and then he just kind of sits there until you bust him out of his shit. Start hitting him for a bunch. You can't play this resonance here. Guess what? We got Void Form, so it's all good. And yeah, we're just gonna. I think I don't even need to. Void Form's already out. Yeah, just do this again. Easy peasy. Manifest Authority. That is an interesting card, right? Works with Arsenal, makes a random colorless card. There's a lot of bangers in this pool. I think I'll take it just to make it so that Arsenal isn't completely dead. Regular priced Void Form. I think I'll pick this. Why not, right? And the resonance in the turn. Okay. He's hitting me for 23, and I don't really have a good solution to that. That is kind of tragic, actually. Holy shit, that is bad. I guess we're just taking a Zintillion, which is fine. Yeah, Gamma Blasting here I think actually saves me a little bit of energy because it saves me a little bit of health because I take 5 from the Thorns here, but his attack will get debuffed by 25%. Okay, yeah, by exactly 5 as it happens, so yeah, that's okay. He's sometimes against this guy you just take lane. That's lame. It is what it is. What are you gonna do, really? I feel pretty good about the rest of this fight, as far as how it's gonna go. I'm just gonna pass. Oh, okay, you know what? I think I'm gonna go see some defect cards. Not a huge fan of any of these, which is unfortunate. That was kind of what I was counting on for... Uh-oh. Okay, these all aren't great, which is pretty bad. pretty ass. Maybe we toss it a Consuming Shadow? That just... Yeah, that just does like 12 damage, which is really bad. Flat Cannon's really bad, because we don't really put status cards into our deck. It's cool. Compact, not really. Capacitor, Chaos. I don't know, man. All of these are just kind of ass, whatever. I guess I'll just leave. That's how that one goes sometimes. Okay, you might have some ideas for what's gonna happen, but sometimes it's just no good. Okay, what are we buying here? Not especially enamored by Burning Sticks. Bronze Scales is just pretty good. Yeah, let's pick that up. Get a little bit of chip in against Mr. B's, Millipede. Combines really well with Mercury Hourglass as well. Do I want Pillar of Creation? Works pretty well with Manifest Authority. There are some other cards that help you just create cards over and over again. It's kind of bad in the short term though, which might just convince me to not take it. Yeah, both of these are also pretty good depending on the circumstances. What am I doing on block cards? I've taken a Manifest Authority recently. I could use it. Ah, fuck it, man. Let's just take it. Pillar of Creation. See what happens. Alright, we are at half health, staring down 1 elite, 2 elites. We couldn't skip the second one, but I don't think I want to. I'm just gonna rest here so that I would feel a little more comfortable going in. The thing that you're usually afraid of in Act 2 is gonna be Decimillipede, the 3-segmented bug guy that just kills you. That is not the guy. This one can still be a little scary from time to time. I've gotten crushed enough to not get too cocky. Long slice. Yeah, we're just gonna need to kill this guy as quickly as possible. Which, obviously easier said than done and whatnot, but this void form definitely gonna help. So let's just resonance. Oh, I don't have. Okay, let's Manifest Authority. Venerate. Fuck it. That's kind of sick. That by a little bit. Omni Slice. Oh, very good turn. Gamma Blast. Gather Light, Arsenal. No dive. That's been going pretty well so far, but usually this is the part of the fight where things go a little south. He starts, he now has 4 strength, which can mean he's gonna hit pretty hard when he does start like doing his triple attacks. I'm not looking forward to particularly. Let's just hope we kill him before that happens. That would be for the best. I think this is GG. Got him. Celestial Might. Works with Arsenal. Yeah, also works pretty well with Snecko Eye. Let's take it and see what happens. Okay. Yeah, let's get up Fortifier and see what we can add to our deck. Ooh, okay. Bulwark? Bulwark's a pretty good... Bulwark's a pretty good card with Snecko. Just always a very respectable block card, and it also costs 2. Now it costs 1.5, so even better than usual. Forge is 13, which means it's going to make us the Sovereign Blade. Build up a little bit of damage here and there. I think I'm just going to take Bolt. We could take Manifest Authority. It's a fine card, and it, again, getting Arsenal going, I think, is actually a pretty big deal for a deck like this. Just like having a little bit of scaling can't possibly hurt. It also works with Pillar of Creation. Although the first activation of Bulwark also works with both of these. I don't know. It's kind of rough. I'll take Bulwark, just see what happens. Pretty happy to pick those up either way. What do I upgrade here? Because I do think it's an upgrade. Let's upgrade Manifest Authority. Just upgrading whatever it makes us is going to be kind of huge. Alright, here is the pretty good place, in my estimation. Just, yeah, these guys are pretty awful to fight. There's 3 of them. They never stop attacking. One of them gets stronger every turn, the other applies weak to you. So, yeah, nothing much to say about it. Just like it's really, really fucking awful. I think we are pretty prepared. We have Bronze Scales, we have Hourglass, we have Letter Opener, we also have which is going to save us a bunch of damage this first turn. Really appreciate everything that's done for us. And though we do have some other options here, I think I am just going to toss out my Void Form to see where it gets us. Yeah. Both of them are going to start doing numbers for us. Considered, that was not that bad as far as a Decimillipede fight. We took some damage, yes, but like we escaped mostly unscathed, which was like, more than you could basically more than you can ask for, like almost all the time in that fight. Do I want to glow? I don't think I want to glow. I don't think I want any of these really. Shot of the Stars is nice, but we actually don't spend stars that often because of Void Form. I think I'm just gonna pass. Glow though? Glow could be kind of... I don't know. Let's just chill. See what happens here. This is another guy who really can punish you for not having AoE. We do have a lot of AoE, so not particularly worth, especially since we're also putting Void Form into play turn 1. That is 36 damage, which is a lot. Hourglass is going to kill this guy. Alright, mob. Rush is... Okay, I think I'm going to pick up Glimmer here, actually. gonna do two pretty important things for us. Void Form is making us a lot of mana, which means that we are gonna need, in a lot of cases, like more things. I don't know. Maybe we don't. I think basically it both helps us find Void Form while also letting us dig deeper and like draw more cards to play with Void Form once we do deploy it. I think it's a pretty good addition to our deck. Convergence, Gather Light, both are totally fine cards. I don't know if we really need them at this point. I'm just gonna pick up Glimmer and chill. I have Dex Potion, I have all of these. I think I can get away with upgrading one more thing here. And I think I'm gonna upgrade... I think I'm gonna upgrade Arsenal, actually. That might be kind of crazy. But it's just crazy enough for me. Okay, Dex. Arsenal. That'll work. I think we're gonna Radiant Tincture. Not gonna take that much damage. Really wasn't good for this early. Blast him. Resonance. Play the fins. Turn back this way. Okay, here's the big turn where this thing's going to charge up a pretty huge attack. We do have him weakened. That's a very good start. But might need a little more help than that to survive. Okay, pretty sick, pretty good. Manifest a bit more authority, finesse again. Okay, you know what? Snecko Eye's kind of doing numbers out here. You know what? Yeah, I'll just turn around for you. Because we've blocked so much that it doesn't even matter that I'm not facing the claw that's like hitting me for a Centillion. It's always a good feeling. Alright, so I think we've got this fight in the bag at this point. Never say never, I guess. Could always go to shit. It's happened plenty of times in the past. I'm not a huge fan of those numbers, personally. Let's see if we can put that one back. Oh wait, that's just dealing with a lot of damage, which is kind of nice. Let's stop this guy for his Centillion. Manifest authorities, you know, shackled. This run's going really, really well. I'm pretty excited for what's going on here. Oh, you know, normally I'd be looking at decisions, or royalties and thinking about what can happen with those, but Monarch's Gaze costs 3. Today it costs 1.5. Normally I wouldn't take a card like this, but like, I think it's just pretty strong, especially when we have something like Celestial Might. Just like, weakening the enemy is very strong in a lot of cases. A lot of enemies attack multiple times. We can hit a bunch, thanks to Void Form and Celestial Might, of course. Crush Under is pretty good. I don't know. Decisions though, what can it do for us? It can triple cast Resonance, it can triple cast Manifest Authority, Bulwark, and it's free with Void Form. I do want to make this card work. It's one of my favorite ones, although you could argue that it's not very good. Okay. All in all, a pretty rough selection of things. I don't know. Distinguished Cape is just fine. I don't think we're in a position to play Blood-Soaked Rose. Although, could we make it work? Maybe. Just getting an extra mana to work with is going to be pretty nice, and I think like we're hitting enthralled with Snecko Eye pretty often, and we can just always like. Sometimes it's going to cost 3, yes, and that will be like really, really awful. Am I okay with that? I don't know if I am. The other options here are Distinguished Cape, which lets us just add 3 apparitions to our deck. That's very strong. Lord's Parasol, I think, is just awful. We could take it and just dodge every merchant. I don't love doing that. Yeah, I don't know. I'm thinking of just hitting this shop here. Let's just take Cape, man. Like, apparitions are... no. Maybe we just try to make Blood-Soaked Rose work. Yeah, we could pick up a Tyranny later, which would make it effectively not an issue. But unfortunately, it is going to be an issue some of the time. I don't know. I'm a little afraid of... I'm really afraid of Blood-Soaked Rose, even though it promises to be really powerful. Let's just take it, man. Let's just take it. I very rarely take it. Let's see what happens. Okay. Not super thrilled with this first turn here. Taking one's not okay, still haven't seen Enthralled yet. I think we start the turn with this. Ooh, that is not good. I don't know. Yeah, this is... I think this is our deck showing us its more ugly side. There are some turns where you just don't draw. There are some... Yeah, there are going to be some situations where you just don't draw your... for 0, and now we can Void Form. Yeah, once we have Void Form set up, it throws a lot less of an issue because we can just... we can sort of just play it for free regardless, which is nice. A little Quasar action, a little funny business. I think we gotta take Bulwark. It's just too good of a card, especially considering we have Snecko Eye. That's life, but at least it's a small consolation. But a consolation nonetheless. Let's get the free ones out of the way real quick. Hit them with a Glimmer. Decisions. I think our Resonance 3 times. Thank you. Does that get rid of Resonance? It does not. It just counts it as being played, which is pretty interesting. Manifest Authority. Yeah, let's end the turn. A little Void Form. It's never hurt nobody. reject, so guess what? We're taking it. I think, yeah, we're just moving this at the shop immediately, right? So, just get some relics, no problem. Love a gremlin horn, I love a tea set. Very strong cards. now they're hitting me with the banger. Mayhem, huh? Love a mayhem, especially when it costs. Oh, but yeah, mayhem that costs 1.5. Is that good? It's a fine card. Just like scales a little bit. Let's take it, man. I think it's also going to be pretty helpful into Queen. We'll pick up a skill potion to take a little bit less damage in one of these fights. Yeah, let's go here. Really don't need either of these at this point for the most part. The question is, do I like Fencing Manual or do I like Vajra? That's an interesting question. I think I'm going to take Vajra because Fencing Manual actually denies me the first proc of Arsenal from me forging, which is a very small thing, but I still think it's pretty important. Depending on what happens. No problem. Okay. Slight problem. This guy's hitting me for 23. I don't have a way of answer. Let's pop on it. Let's see what happens. Okay, zero cost void form. Very auspicious. Do I? No, if I manifest authority, I just take a little bit of damage from bulwarking. That's void form. Very, very bad. Very bad. 46 damage. I think we're gonna be able to Fury. That's over here. What's coming afterwards? Rest and another elites. Oh, maybe 2 elites. I still think I just drink this and see if we can get a little block here. Let's just... Put that back on top. Let's decisions. Oh, why can't I play? Oh, I can't play it, right? It's just that I thank God. This scared me a little bit there. Damn. Play one of these. Take 6, but now we are set up. Pendulum, can't hurt. Focus stars, radiate no die plays. I'm not a fan of any of those. Let's just pass. Test of pop, can't hurt. Deals 9 to all enemies at the start of combats. Always a good time. Anything I want to upgrade here? Decisions being upgraded might actually be kind of helpful, honestly. I think this is the last fight in which explosive vial will be relevant, and it is really relevant, so we'll play it. Yeah, Arsenal. Very hopeful. Oh my god, okay, that's a pretty good way to just solve this fight. Let's make sure this guy is going to die to it. This guy has been the reason that I died to this fight most of the time because like I think 5 turns into the fight, he randomly just hits you for like 50, 40, something along those. You get the idea. Want to make sure that he dies to the bot if we can help him. Okay, 0 roll for 0, no problem. That guy's dead, excellent. Bulwark action. Take 26. Alright, this fight's, I think, effectively over. Decisions. Let's just bulwark 3 times. Beautiful. Just. Get bombed. Get got. You've been hit by. You've been struck by. A smooth criminal. You know what? Toss me another Celestial Might, actually. That card's making numbers for us. And, a little bit of health or a little bit of upgrading and lose some health. Going into this elite at 40 scares me slightly. It's gonna be the Goblin guy. Maybe it's not that bad, actually. Fuck it, man. Let's just do this. Okay, not too exciting, not too bad. Do I take this elite? I think that's a pretty good question to ask. I think our deck is good enough at this that I just shouldn't be that afraid. Let's just go with this. Alright. Fella coming through. Okay, regretting this a little bit. Yikes. That means we take a little bit less. Taking some damage. We might die here. I hope not. That would kind of suck. Or this. Not being able to deploy Martial Tornado. And it looks like we're actually also just going to take a good chunk of damage here. Oh, if I do that, I won't get the... Oh, I won't have the mana to deploy away for it. Okay, that's just take beat. That's okay. We didn't have block anyways. I might just die here. Just kidding, I'm never gonna die. I might die here, y'all. That is awful, awful, awful. Jesus Christ. We gotta get this fight over quick. Because it's not looking super hot currently. At least we don't immediately die, that is helpful. Something that can patch us up. No, but he does have Spectrum Shift. I think that's going to help a lot with yeah, and then let's just also take a Manifest Authority. Okay, feeling really bad here going into this final fight with... It turns out taking that elite was a massive mistake. But, yeah, nobody's perfect. Least of all, yours truly. Do I take 14 here just so that we can get Arsenal? I think the answer might be yes. fight more than anything else. Flamethrower, that's no problem. Work 3 times. Definitely want to play that one. Want to play that one as well. Even a little bit of block from the board. No block. Oh, that's frustrating. We're gonna die here, and that's okay. Yeah, got punished a little bit for just like a few things compounding. Maybe you could argue I should have taken the 20 max health to not be at 40 against the elite. You could have argued I shouldn't have taken the elite right here. You could have argued that maybe I shouldn't have taken the 14 damage off of not playing Arsenal turn 1. Anyways, a lot of things we could have done differently, but that's how it goes. I'll make another attempt at Ascension 9 later, perhaps in tomorrow's video, or maybe I'll get it done before then. We'll have to see. In any case, that's going to do it for today. I had a lot of fun messing around with Sneko Eye. That one's, like, it's not always the right thing to do, but when the stuff lines up, man. Sneko Eye, I think Sneko Eye did a lot of work that night. It did us some harm here and there, but nobody's perfect, least of all Sneko Eye. Anyways. Yeah, that's the end of today. I will see you tomorrow, I hope. Goodbye.